What's up everyone? Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel, and today we are going to see the history of DD, the origin of this DD function, which is one of the most popular ways of debugging in PHP. Now, most people don't know, but actually DD was introduced by Taylor Otwell, and the DD function back then was very simple. As you can see, the only thing it does is pretty much kind of array map through all the given arguments. So PHP have this magical function called funcGetArgs, and which allows you to basically grab all the given arguments to your function, and then for each one of those arguments we are going to use the var dump native function of PHP to dump the given argument content. Now at the end of this function, what Taylor kind of did was die the PHP execution, so you can analyze everything on the console. Let's just copy this into our Sublime text, and let's just put it right here so we can use it also in our Laravel application. Let's also style this a little bit because it's a little bit confusing. Let's just put the var dump in the middle of the function and also put the die at the end of our function content. And once we do this, let's call this DD function something like nuno_dd, because Laravel already have a DD function. And at the end, let's just go into this artisan example command, and let's just use nuno_dd with the content something like main equals to nuno. Okay, if I run this, hopefully on the terminal, I get already a little bit the sense about what DD used to be in the past, and I can see that we are missing some coloring. Obviously this DD output is not as pretty as is the DD these days, but this was pretty much the content of the DD function back then. And what is also funny about this DD commit was kind of the number of comments that people made. They're probably not even imagining how popular this DD function would be in the future. Now, so there was kind of three versions of the DD function. One was using this very native approach, kind of just using the var dump function with the die function as well at the end. But the second approach to the DD function was already using one of the Symfony components called var dumper. So let's just use it here so you can see what it does, what it did look like back then. So I'm going to just use Symfony component var dumper, and I'm going to use this class here. I'm going to create an instance of this object. So I'm going to just type dumper equals to new var dumper, and then I'm going to use this dumper instance within my function body. Okay, so instead of using this var dump native function of PHP, I'm going to use the dumper native function of the dumper object of Symfony to dump the given argument content. Okay, let's now clear our terminal, run PHP argument example, and you can see that the output looks way better now, with coloring, with a clear representation of what we are dumping appearing here on the console. And we obviously are dying as well at the end of our script, but this was kind of the longest version of DD we had on Laravel. So Laravel had this DD version for many years, and I think it looks way better than the original one. Now recently I have made a change on a dump DD function, which is kind of adding the source of the dumped output. And as you can see, this was a pull request made last year, and this pull request only added the source of the DD, and it was very popular. And it was kind of funny because the way that I've used it to find the origin of the DD was kind of using this debug backtrace function of PHP. Is a very magical function of PHP, but allows you to basically see where your DD function was called from. So that's what I'm using to kind of finding the original file, but also the original line. So let's just show you how the DD function looks now these days. So I'm going to, instead of having my own DD, I'm going to just use the DD from Laravel to kind of print everything here on the terminal. And as you can see, looks exactly like before, but the change now is that we get to see where the DD was called from, which is the console line number 7. So this was the history of the DD function, kind of seeing the origin of this function. one of the most popular ways of debugging in PHP, and is still my favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all next time.